So this is a video to kind of help explain and break down the Stairway to Heaven fill. This is nothing new. There's a lot of good videos out there, but there's none that really break it down the way that I'm going to show you guys. There's some videos out there that are also completely wrong. Some say he plays straight triplets, some say he threw doubles in on the bass, and those are the two common ones. But what this fill actually is, it's a 30-second note fill, and it's a phrase, it's like a phrasing pattern that phrases it into threes. And that's what makes it sound like triplets. They're like 16th notes that are played in a 3-note pattern that makes it sound like triplets. And I'll show you the pattern right now. It just has 16th notes. And the trick is the 16th notes with your right hand need to be played with between the snare and the floor tom. And you want to just use the rebound of the snare, same way you would play doubles, is you want to rebound off the snare drum and use kind of your fingers to get it back down on the floor tom. And with that, there's a bass drum that finishes this 3-note pattern. And I'll count this out for you guys now, so you can see the 16th notes. And I'll really break it into the threes. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and then 4. After you've repeated that 4 times, you naturally end on the 4 where I just threw that flam. So this is it all together. It's kind of more of a linear pattern right now. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. So that's a good place to start that fill, is with that, and you just kind of want to keep working that. Practice that, and this is gonna turn into triplets but it's good to just practice this. And if they turn into triplets, that's fine. If they turn into triplets, that's fine. When practicing that, there's no note value. It's something else you can use later on down the road in your own playing even. Once you can get that played pretty good, the next step is there's a left hand that falls between the snare and the floor tom. And that's the 30-second note there, and it's played the whole thing together. The four note pattern is played like this, and that's just repeated 4 times, and naturally you end on the 4 count where I just threw in that flam. And that's where I started playing this fill. He doesn't play a flam to end it. He actually plays 2 triplets. But when I started learning this fill, I just played and I just kept repeating. And I just keep repeating that. And every day, I would speed it up about 5 beats per minute, leaving the triplets out, until I got it up to about 100. The unique thing about Stairway is there's no definitive tempo that's consistent through the whole song. It actually starts at about 70 and speeds up to where this fill falls in to around 100, and then it even drops back again during the outro. If you can play this fill around 100 beats per minute, you'll be able to fit it in the song no problem. So anyways, that's just I just kept repeating that pattern every day, and I'd speed it up about 5 beats per minute every day. The next step is, the way that Bonham finishes this fill is with 2 Bonham triplets, and these are hand, foot. And they were made real famous by John Bonham. They were in a lot of his playing, a lot of his solos. He even actually used this fill in a few different songs, and but this is the most famous song that he used it in. So the way he ends this fill is 4 and 4. Now they're not necessarily the way I usually play it. Is I use all 4 drums. There's a lot of different explanations out there of the way he might have finished this fill. Some say floor tom, snare. One explanation says he may have alternated sticking, starting the first triplet with his right hand and the second one with his left hand. And the more I listen to it, that one actually sounds pretty good. But there is actually no definitive way. Some say they've listened to it through headphones and they can hear the tones and they haven't figured it out. But he never actually played this fill live from any live performances that I've seen. I've seen a lot of the most popular ones. If there's one out there where he's playing it, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to see it. But even in like The Song Remains the Same or any of the YouTube stuff that I've seen, I've never seen this fill played. And Jason Bonham, the London O2 show, some other performances, he doesn't throw this in either. So it's hard to tell what he did for the triplets other than he played hand, hand, foot. And it's pretty certain that a lot of people say that the second triplet does start with a snare. The first one is toms, and the second one starts with a snare, and that's kind of the way that I hear it too. I kind of like that alternating sticking. So this is the whole fill, and I'll play it for you guys slow, and then I'll play it with the song. And that's that played slowly. Here it is with the song. So that's the fill, played up to speed. Now I'm going to show you guys a good drill for the beginner guys, or even anybody that wants to practice bottom triplets. Is even in levy breaks, he plays a hand-foot-foot pattern. He plays a... And what he's doing there is with the hi-hat, he's playing just hand-hand-foot triplets. Triple it, triple it. So what I actually did to practice these is I practice all of them together as kind of a 4-bar pattern. And that's moving around the kit, playing hand, foot, foot, and then hand, hand, foot. And that's how I learned to play these triplets. And I just kept working that over and over again. And then eventually, I could get them up to a good speed where I felt comfortable playing in the Stairway to Heaven. I felt comfortable playing them in the levy. So that's a good drill to work on these triplets. And that'll end this. That's the fill for Stairway to Heaven.